Understand something. Plain and simple. To me, Abigail was a delicious poison. An intoxicating, overwhelming poison. Yowie wowie! That felt good!
That intro can only mean one thing. No, we're not the Fiend and Alexa Bliss. However, we are Jeff and Jodie, aka Abby, and we're back for another episode of Abby's Window. Jodie, how are you today?
Good. I am joining you from my office.
Her lovely office filled with binders and every bit of organization that I crave in my life and aspire to. So, so thank you for showing off that nice office.
I track a lot of things, so they're all in binders.
There you go. There you go. Let me say hello to some people, and then we'll get going because we got some stuff to talk about, and I might need to say a little something since I haven't yet. But let's say hello to some people. John Cena Gamer, Texas-based wrestling fan, Dalton Riley, Jen Carter, B. Tazzy, Jason Peace, Rusty Shackelford, Chad Schrader. Let's see who else here. Kevin Correa, Butterspark, Robert Morris, I keep saying Gorilla and it's Godzilla. I need glasses. Big Dan, let him in. Shane Loki. Somehow Jody is in the chat.
Just keeping it interesting.
Yeah. Big boy Tobias. I know Chris is in the chat as well. I saw Chris. Magic Banana, Sean Suslowitz, Nathan Salas. Wow. Sunny Wolf.
Oh my gosh, she's awake.
Huh? Cheese whiz. Cheese.
Jeez.
James Chadwick. Jacoby Snow, Wrestling Lane, Joey's Adventures. Thank you all for joining us this evening. And yeah, let's just, you know what? Let's just get right to it. There was there was something that was released last week. Let's just go ahead and address the elephant in the room, or in this case, the dung that has exited the body of the elephant. Sean Rousset, thank you for joining. One Mr. Dave Meltzer released some stuff out there and said that the Fiend was the worst gimmick ever.
Oh, it wasn't just that.
Oh, I go ahead. Go ahead.
I forget he won 4 awards. It was worst gimmick, most overrated, worst match, and I believe worst feud.
Okay. So yeah, he that's just Dave Meltzer for you. I know that you've had some things to say. I don't know if you want to say some of those things now, and then I have a few words I'd like to share. But yeah, go. I mean, floor is yours.
I'm just gonna say the same thing I said on Tazzy's stream on Saturday, that he is so far up AEW's butthole that they're choking on his nutsack.
Yes.
So that's where I'm gonna leave that at.
That's pretty direct and succinct, and
got nothing against W at all. It's
not at all.
But...
Not at all. Not at all. Okay, I guess it's my turn now, right?
You go for it.
Okay. All right. You know whose name was missing from worst gimmick from that poll that he had?
Dave Meltzer.
Dave Meltzer and Brian Alvarez. They should have had. They should have been there on that same thing, because here's the problem. Here's the problem that I have with Mr. Meltzer and people like Mr. Meltzer. If you don't like something, don't watch it. And if you're gonna crap on it, why not spend that time on stuff that you actually like?
Mm-hmm.
So why give breath to something that you hate? What the problem really is that he doesn't understand it. That's the issue, because he's too
small-minded.
Well, that too, and up people's butts, that the only good storytelling that can happen is over in Japan. He'll give those matches 5 stars. Anything that comes over to AEW with guys that have been in Japan, he'll give them 5 stars. But what he doesn't understand, or what he doesn't watch, because I don't think he actually watches sometimes, but that's just me. But he will rate that much, much lower. And why? Like, why does it matter to you? Don't give it energy. Just let it go. But you do that. Why? Because you know the hottest superstar out there today. just happens to be the man that you said had the worst gimmick. And I wonder why you put that out there. Clicks, views, for people to talk about your stupidity and you. Mission accomplished.
Yeah.
If I have an award, I'm trying to clean up language, so I'm trying not to say anything too way. But if I had an award, I would name it the Elephant Dung Award. And the first time I award it, it will be to you, and it will be known as the Meltzer Alvarez Human Pieces of Dung Award. In honor of our two biggest pieces of dung on the planet Earth, sometimes when it comes to wrestling, is those two. The reason why I said that about them, though, is because they try to persuade the people that listen to them not to like something.
Right.
And people are allowed to like what they like and just let them be.
Yeah.
You don't have to control everything. You don't have to control what people watch. Yeah. You don't have to. But why do you want to? Because if I get my following and get my little disciples to go out there and spew my nonsense for me, people might actually think that they're in on the con. And it's a con. All you do is use people's names for clickbait. You're obviously either a closeted fan or you're just a slimy person who just wants all the eyes on your stuff by mentioning a person that you don't really like. I'm not going to give any more breath to those two idiots because they don't deserve it. And when I say idiots, like, I'm not talking about them personally.
Right.
I'm talking about the crap that they try to get people to subscribe to. And what I don't know what their aim is, but I'm assuming that it's just to get people to just follow them blindly like idiots. Last thing I'm going to say is this, and this has nothing to do with Meltzer and him being a piece of dung. This has to do with trolls. And I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it. And for a lot of people in our chat, they know what I'm talking about. Okay? If you're going to say something derogatory about someone, have the courage to say it with your own account. Not a fake one that you made up because you're a coward and you lack the courage to stand up and say how you really feel to someone. A kid can create a fake account and do that kind of stuff. You may be a kid. I don't know. You act like one, and I'm going to treat you like one right now. The next time you want to insult someone, especially, like myself, or especially my friends, the people that we collaborate and do everything we do on the insiders and outside of that too. If you're going to come at someone, be more creative than using a racial slur. Actually be smart enough to come up with an insult that shows some, or shows some level of intelligence. I've been on this earth many years as a black man. If I had a nickel for every time I heard the N word, I wouldn't have to work anymore. I'd be rich. So you typing it and putting it on screen just doesn't land with me. So don't come after my friends. If you come after me, I don't know if you can tell by my tone at this point. I'm coming back for you, and I'm going to expose you. This is your final warning. Just know that the next time you spew something stupid, I'm exposing you. I'm going to show people who you really are, since you don't have the guts to do it yourself. And the last thing I'll say is people in our world, they hide behind screens and they hide behind fake personas. Be yourself. Because at the end of the day, that's the only person that you're lying to. People will eventually find you out, period. And if you want to be found out for being fake, that's up to you. But just be yourself. Because the people that you surround yourself with will be more genuine about their feelings towards you. So if you want a bunch of fake people, if you want a fake crowd around you, that's cool. That's you. But I'll say this: play with me again. I can't put hands on you, but I'm gonna expose you. So, all right, enough about that.
I'm gonna top that off lyric.
Okay, go ahead.
They realize they don't need the chains. They give us tiny screens. We think we're free because we can't see the cage.
I think that's from a great poet, right?
He's from a very controversial one.
Yeah, he is. But hey, anyway, we've had a lot of people join us. Jesse, Venomized Joker. I like that name. It's cool.
I do too.
Eric Travis, folks, giving me props for saying what I was saying. Honestly, and I'll say this too, I begrudgingly got back on Twitter today. However, the reason I got back on Twitter is for this, because if you say something, I'm going to at you on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm going to at you and post every single screenshot that I have. So, yes, Jodie, definitely check out. He's good too. What Rusty just sent. So, all right, enough about me wanting to stomp a mud hole in trolls, or break their Twitter fingers. That's the only way they function in life. So we can't take that away from them. So they need their thumbs and Twitter fingers. So we'll let them go with that. But Jodie, there's a little something that happened last week, I think. Does this ring any bells?
Oh yeah. You know what I think the real problem is with this? I think Randy drank too much tea.
Too much tea.
Too much tea. C Wrestling was actually the one that found this first, because when Chris found it, he was the first person I called. And I said, it looks like the tea. Yeah, I said that a few weeks ago. I'm like, oh, I must have missed that video. Sorry. So if you look at what is coming out of Alexa's mouth and Randy's mouth, it looks an awful lot like the tea from the tea party that she fed Ramblin' Rabbit.
Yeah. Yeah.
So in case you didn't see that video from C Wrestling, it was in one of his things you might have missed. Yeah, he found that first, so props to him. But yeah, maybe he drank too much tea.
That's crazy. So since we're talking about it, I've got to ask this question that Drift asked us. What do you think they used to do that segment? What do you think that was that they actually used?
I don't know. It could just be in food coloring, some kind of honey, maybe.
Yeah.
It was definitely thicker than Alyssa's, so I could definitely kind of like what they use for Asuka's green mist, just with a different food grade coloring, maybe with a black food coloring.
And and they can thicken this is gonna sound gross, but I used to work in a home with people with developmental disabilities, and you can thicken water. They have this stuff called Thicket. Geez, you use it there? Okay. So it could have been just Thicket and in food color, and and there you go. But yeah, it was interesting, which the whole thing of the tea brings me to another. So how is it that maybe I'm just thinking about this too much? Or the charcoal, Shane Loki just said, or the charcoal toothpaste. That's a good call too. But why, what is it doing to Alexa and Randy differently than just, taking them out like Rambling Rabbit went out,
I think it's a different form of, obviously Ramblin' Rabbit isn't part of Bray. He always calls them the critics. So, with him being kind of like the Kenny of the Firefly Funhouse, he just, he kind of gets the brunt of it, unfortunately. But I think it's because Bray is part of them, and there's a part of him in both of them. And he always says that you can't kill it. So if he's part of them's not going to die.
Hey.
Especially if you're going down that, demonic possession route, which the second Randy coughed, I looked at Chris and I'm like, that was weird.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, and then we both asked each other, like, is this live? Like, did he actually just cough by accident, like, as he was live? Because if they would have pre-taped it, he'd have been like, no, let's go back. And I was like, I think that was intentional. The second he got, I'm like, no, I think that was intentional because I think this is pre-recorded. Mm-hmm. And then not 2 seconds later, he starts coughing up all this stuff. And I'm like, oh, interesting. But I just want to say to Bray, if he ever watches this, I love that you are making us mark out over Randy Orton coughing up black goo.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, I was about to say something really, really nasty about a callback to our previous conversation and his favorite wrestler. But I will refrain because I actually like his favorite wrestler.
What?
Kenny Omega.
Oh, yeah.
I was going to say, when's the last time Kenny Omega made you this invested in a storyline? But, I know I'll get some people coming after me because of that, which I don't care. I like Kenny Omega. I'm just being a dingleberry right now. So anyway, Jodie, a quick medical question. Does ice cream help cramps? I know what does, but
it depends what kind of cramps you're having.
Yeah.
Usually if you're having stomach cramps, dairy is not going to help you. It's not going to be your friend. Yeah.
Pickle juice.
Yeah.
Pickle juice is really good for cramps.
Mm-hmm.
When I was, actually even in college, the athletic trainers would give us little shots of pickle juice, and it helps out a lot. So, just saying. Anyway, there's a bunch of crazy comments in the chat. So, all right. The big question now is, does this mean that this coughing up of this black substance, is that the exodus of this new whatever we get? Is that its form coming out of those two?
It's highly possible. I mean, being, a horror fan, usually you see things like that when the demon is being expelled from the person. So I don't know. Maybe it was an instance of Alexa needed to let him out. And so did Randy, in order for him to come back together and be one person. I think a lot of this is just mind games. Because obviously Alexa had something to say right afterwards on Twitter. She went on Twitter and said, "You okay, Randy?" So I think a lot of this is just mind games. Obviously it's Bray Wyatt and everything means something. I just don't know what it is.
It's crazy. Like, this is what's really interesting about all of this, is that we haven't seen him since December
20th.
December 20th. And we are just as invested, if not more so, in this story than when we were when he was set on fire. That's just brilliance.
I would say as invested. I wouldn't say more.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's just, I'll put it like this. It hasn't diminished our excitement or interest. It hasn't diminished it. So Joe is in the house. Welcome, Joe. People talking about Lashley and The Miz tonight. Spoiler alert, I think we're going to see a new champion, but that's just me. Possibly.
I don't think so yet.
You don't think so just yet?
No, I think it's going to be at Fastlane. I think we might see some shenanigans.
Okay. Well, speaking of tonight, since we mentioned tonight, the $1 million question that a lot of people are asking: do we see anything else tonight? Anything, not just, do we get a return, but do we see anything tonight? What do you think happens?
Oh, I'm sure we're going to see something. Absolutely, 100%, because there's been little things every single week, except for if you don't count the pay-per-views, there's been little things almost every week. So, I wouldn't be surprised if we get something from Alexa talking about, what happened to Randy last week. And I am still waiting for, and WWE Creative can, if they do it, pay me dividends on it. But I think the greatest way for him to come back, and I would lose my mind, is if you come up on Alexa's playground. She's sitting in the swing. She starts talking about Randy losing his mind, and I wonder what can be wrong with him. Maybe he, I don't know what's wrong with him. And the camera's just on Alexa the whole time, sitting in this swing. And then she goes, "What do you think?" And the camera just pans over, and Bray Wyatt is sitting in that swing. And then Bray could just go, maybe he drank too much tea.
That would be.
And that's how you bring Bray Wyatt back. Not the Fiend, but that's how you bring Bray back.
Yeah.
And then you're just sitting there going, what just happened? Yeah, because
Wow.
I mean, you just can't. If you're looking for that OMG moment,
Yeah.
thinking as fans, thinking that it's just Alexa Bliss, not that it's just Alexa Bliss, you know what I mean, because we love her, but thinking that, oh, it's just another Alexa Bliss segment, cool, like, what are we gonna get? It's not Bray yet, obviously, blah blah blah, and then the camera just pans over and he's sitting there and you're like, what what
Like, what?
So,
What? Um. Okay. Shane Loki
Word.
says, "I would love that."
mhm.
WWE, if you're listening, make sure you give credit to Jodie for that. Shane
I'll take
says,
another video chat with Bray for it.
there you, see, there you go. It's a nice even trade there.
Oh, yeah.
WWE is actually getting the better end of that deal. So, just saying. Shane Loki says maybe it's from smoke inhalation. I looked up a definition. It says smoke inhalation can cause you to cough up black stuff. Maybe Bray is letting them know he is still.
Ooh, I
I like
like that a lot.
I like that comment.
I really like that.
That's good.
That's a really good theory,
Yeah.
because, and it even adds into that whole possession storyline, because if they're possessed by the Fiend and the Fiend's part of them now, like everybody's been saying, the Fiend is part of Alexa now, he got burned alive. So he would be coughing up black crap.
Mm-hmm.
I like that a lot. I dig it. Shane, I like you. I knew there was a reason why.
That's good, Shane.
I really like that.
That is really, really good. Wow.
Yeah. I dig it.
See, I love the fact that we have these deep discussions
Mm-hmm.
about this storyline. I mean, it's
Hello
just
to Nicole, by the way. You made a comment. Fantastic to see you here. Thank you for joining.
welcome. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, Jodie's brilliant. So,
That wasn't
uh,
me.
huh?
That was not me. That was Shane.
No, I'm talking about your previous.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was
I just
brilliant.
think that would be a really fun way to bring him back. Because then
Yeah,
you can have, obviously, I think we're all sold on the idea that this re-envisioned version of the Fiend is not going to come back till WrestleMania. So you have to, as a writer, figure out how to shift the focus, because right now Randy Orton is focused on Alexa.
mm-hmm.
In some way, you have to shift the focus back to Bray. And I think the easiest way to do that is to bring Funhouse Bray back, but bring him back through Alexa's playground.
It's brilliant. It's brilliant. Okay, since Drift says, I think Alexa will face Randy in a cinematic match at Fastlane where the Fiend returns to deck Randy. Then at Mania we get Fiend versus Orton Firefly Funhouse match. Do you think we're going to get that? I know that's a lot of rumors that that Randy and Alexa are going to have a match. Do you think that's going to happen at Fastlane?
I think it would be a good way to go, but I don't remember the last time that WWE did a mixed gender match like that. It's not something that they do very often. Yes, when you're going in a cinematic angle, it makes it way easier to do that. But I don't know. I mean, it would definitely be a new direction. I think it would be a really good match. I think it would be obviously very cinematic, very interesting. And you can definitely play some mind games with Randy. from all of that. So
Yeah.
I think it's unlikely. I have been proved wrong in the past, and I'm fine with that. Yeah, I think it would be unlikely, but it would be fun to see. But like I said, you've got to decide whether or not you want the fans to see the Fiend before WrestleMania or not. And I think as fans, of course, we want to see him now, but I think you're going to get the most bang for your buck waiting until WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Because that pop, I mean, imagine if he comes out walking down the ramp dragging an alligator. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you just don't, you're going to get way more pop bringing him back at WrestleMania and waiting until WrestleMania to unveil this re-envisioned character. Mm-hmm. But doesn't mean you can bring Bray back in the meantime.
Exactly. Or even cult leader Bray.
Don't tease me like that.
Just hear me out. Hear me out. Hear me out. This is my thought process.
Don't tease me like that.
I personally, what I would really enjoy to see is I'd like for Randy and Alexa to have something that is themed to or called a match. Mm-hmm. But when we get to that point at Fastlane, we see that it's going to be cinematic. And it's essentially Alexa taking Randy through her playground, an extended version of the playground, but leading him to the Funhouse. And once he gets into the Funhouse and he exits once again, then he's encountered by cult leader Bray. And then we see those two go at it, and we see something happen with cult leader Bray, and that's when we get at Mania that new reveal.
Anytime you put cult leader Bray on my television, I'm I'm all for it, because you guys know how I feel about cult leader Bray. So I think that there's 6 pieces of original painted art of cult leader Bray on my wall.
Yeah. I think though, if you're looking for a way to bring back Funhouse Bray, mm-hmm. Sure, we can tie Funhouse Bray and Randy together and put it back to the Fiend or whatever this is going to be. But why not add in that wrinkle of
because they have so much history together.
Exactly. They have,
like you did with the swamp match.
Exactly.
It would make sense to have cult leader Bray come back and remind you that he hasn't forgotten what you did to him and her.
Exactly. People are talking about a cut on Randy's head last week. Did you see that?
Yes, I did.
You did see it. People are saying, do you think that means anything?
Well, a lot of us kind of speculated that maybe he was supposed to come back at that last pay-per-view. So I don't know. Maybe whatever they were trying to do didn't work. That would be my guess. And that's why it didn't work, because I don't know. I don't think it means anything. I think whatever happened in the terms of filming or trying to film things or filming future things, that he got hurt.
Yeah. Big Dan, what if Bray burns down Randy's house this time?
Randy doesn't really have I don't know.
What if we discover his place like a fun house? Alexa's got a playground.
Sorry, I'm not sure.
Sorry. She has the playground.
She has the playground. I don't
So
know. I mean,
why can't he have like the Viper's Pit or
the
some,
snake pit.
the Snake Pit, something like that? I mean, who knows? Who knows? Maybe that's the dark place that he goes to hear the voices.
He said they stopped.
Right. So what better way to get back in touch with them to have them embodied by maybe some puppets in the pit?
Or some cult leader Bray.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, I don't know. See, my brain is just turning. The wheels are turning.
Bray will do that to you.
Yes. What type of match stipulation do we see, you think, at WrestleMania? Is it a gimmick match? Is it some type of themed match, you think?
It depends. Obviously, you can't have it be too cinematic because you do have fans back at that point. So I think it could be kind of both.
I think it could be kind of both.
Kind of like when they did the House of Horrors match. I know everybody doesn't like that match for some reason. I actually really like it. I think it's great. But yeah, I definitely can see it being a little bit of both. And it depends. It depends how much you're going to build it up in the process. If you're going to have Cult Leader come back and mess with Randy's head before WrestleMania, then you don't really need that part during a match, like the Swamp match or like the Funhouse match that he had with John Cena. So
yeah.
I don't know.
This is interesting breaking news. I feel like we need to have a dun 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 dun. Apparently, Alexa Bliss has posted a picture of herself that says "tap tap."
She posted something this morning that said "You broke me first," a picture of a song called "You Broke Me First," and it's all in red. Let me find it. Tap tap. I don't really know what that means. Tap tap.
Wrestling.
I wouldn't say it's not a Fiend-esque like picture. It's just a picture. Actually, it's a picture she's posted before, I think.
Wrestling Lane says, "What if tonight Randy is in the ring? Then the lights start flickering. Then they go off, and Cult Leader Bray returns, setting up that at Fastlane. Then something happens to him, setting up the Fiend's return."
If that happens, if Cult Leader Bray shows up on my laptop, because I won't be watching it at work, I'll be listening to it. I will have it on my laptop at work as I'm doing all of my other work. So if that happens, I will scare every single patient in this building because I will scream at the top of my lungs.
Trex Edie or Eddie says, "What if they do the Halloween thing where they use the eyes behind the mark?"
I can see that too. I think a really good stipulation would be, I mean, obviously it's going to have to be some kind of false count anywhere, no DQ, because you can't not do that between the two of them, because them together in a ring is just,
Yeah. Joe says, "From the Raven, tapping at my chamber door."
Interesting. If it were a different picture, I'd probably be more inclined to draw theories from it. But it wasn't any kind of her in character picture. It was just a normal black and white picture of her.
Mhm.
Not like last week. She posted that picture of her and her contacts. You know what I mean? Because tap tap, if you're looking on Instagram, also means that you like the picture.
That's true.
So it could just be tap tap, like the picture.
This picture. Sean Rousset says, I don't see Bray returning tonight. They will focus on the Miz match tonight. That could be true.
I agree.
Yeah.
But I definitely do think we get something.
Let's see here. Wrestling Lane says, plus today is the day after February 28th. And 4 years ago that day, Randy burned down the cabin, and it could make sense for cult leader Bray to get his revenge.
I dig it.
Like a farmer. She digs it.
I told you, anything dealing with cult leader Bray coming back on my television, I'm down.
Well, do you think we get vignettes?
I think that's highly possible.
This is me
because
for
wasn't there a rumor that he was backstage at Raw last week?
There was that rumor.
I don't know how much credit I put into that, but he could have easily been back there recording something for this week or next week.
Eli says, State Farm is here, Jeff. This is me.
From State Farm.
This is me for vignettes. I need vignettes.
I would definitely like that.
James Chadwick saying, I miss vignettes. Yeah, I need some of that with this story.
Let's be honest. We just miss Bray.
That's true. It's very true.
We just Bray Wyatt, and we want him back on TV.
That's it. Joey's Adventure says, Jeff and Jody, I'm hoping a Mania return at this point. Have Orton refuse to believe he's still alive every week until he actually appears face to face with him. Wrestling Lane is asking, how long do you work until?
So we are out electronic charting this week. It went live today. So I will be here as the leadership person to support the night shift. So I will be here from 4 to midnight every day this week.
God bless you. God bless.
They always call me the IT guru. So anytime they have a computer problem, they're going to call me. So I figured in the building.
Yeah, might as well be there on site for it. So that's good leadership. That's what that is.
Thank you.
That is exactly what that is. So, folks, if you aspire to be a good leader, just saying. Let's see. Thank you, Jesse. Anyone new here? We'll take a break in the action real quick and say, if you are new here, welcome. We're glad you are joining us, and we would invite you to like this video if you haven't done so already, and subscribe to the channel if you're new here. We have a lot of fun. I promise we don't start every show off talking about people and their stupidity, but sometimes it needs to be addressed. So yeah, that's what we're doing, and we got a lot of fun stuff that we do. So all right, gotta ask the question. I gotta ask the question. How long before we see Randy Orton side by side with the Fiend? Do you think that ever happens?
You mean like working together?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Never?
I hate to put it that way, but Ray's kind of been burned before by Randy. I don't think he would go down that road again.
What if the Fiend or whatever we get completely changes him? And he's almost like a servant to him.
That's what he was like last time.
I know.
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me.
Just saying. I was curious. You
I
thought
wouldn't be opposed to it. Definitely wouldn't be opposed to it. You know how I feel about people joining Bray.
Mm-hmm.
I have issues. I don't want to say I have issues. It rubs me the wrong way until I get a feel for it, just because I don't want him to get lost and not have the spotlight that he's very, very much earned.
Yeah.
You know, I was like that way when Alexa first came into this story and a little unsure of how that was going to work. But now I love it. So, and, you know, first to say that I was wrong about that. And, you know, it's turned out to be an amazing thing and I'm cool with it. So if Randy decides to join the Fiend and they have them together, I will probably feel the same way, a little uneasy about it at first, and then look back a few months later and be like, oh, well, you know, I was an idiot.
Yes. You're not an idiot.
I'm just waiting for him
to
go after Roman. Like, I'm loving this Randy feud, but who's next? I think it very well. I mean, Roman has it coming.
He does.
They have a lot of history.
He does. What if they really want to get some run out of starting something with Edge, though, since we haven't seen that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, not necessarily right away for the Fiend to go for Roman, but it's going to happen eventually. It's inevitable. And, you know, after this Randy feud, as much as I'm loving every single second of it, I love the slow burn. I love the little things that happen every week, even without Bray being there.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be the next feud that I'm going to be like, whoa.
Gust says hello. Hello, Gust.
Hi.
Delanio is he said, hey, I was asleep. What happened? A lot happened, Delanio. A lot.
We talked about Bray. That's what we always do here. Because he's awesome.
We have fun.
Yeah.
Have fun. That's what it's about. Joey's Adventure says Fiend versus Sheamus is near.
Be okay with that too.
Yeah. I mean, there aren't too many scenarios I would be upset. You know, I wouldn't be upset with a lot.
Right. Because at this point, we're just like, if you don't bring Bray back soon, I'm going to pull out all my hair.
Well, I mean, you know.
I'm going to pull out all my hair.
So I'm growing my beard long. So I'm growing my beard long again so I can rip it out in disgust when we don't get him back. When, you know, just saying.
But, you know, that's where the fans are at now. Like, if you don't bring Bray back soon, we're like an addict. Like, we're, you know, getting the shakes being without Bray.
It's true. We are fiending for the Fiend.
Yep.
I'm copywriting that.
We are fiending for the Fiend.
Yes. So, yeah. Just saying. Eric Travis saying, I'm gonna say it again, Jeff. When Lashley wins the belt, WWE, you hear me? Get Lashley. He will be calling my name for him. Listen, I said earlier, I'd like to see Lashley win it tonight. I think he may win it tonight. So there's that. Do we get anything building towards Fastlane with this story, Jody, tonight?
I definitely think we're going to get some progression of this story, whether or not it's something from the man himself that we all miss so much, or from Alexa. But I definitely think we're going, or it could just be another spot with Randy. Maybe it happens again.
Yeah.
But maybe it happens during a match this time, or, things get a little bit more serious, and it's, so we will definitely get some progression of this story tonight. I would love it if Bray came back tonight, but we'll see.
We'll see.
Like I said, if he does, I will scare every patient in this building. So.
Oh man, see, that's where I wish we had a live recording of that moment where see Jody like running through the halls.
Well, you remember our deal that, if he does come back on a random Raw, that we'll go live afterwards so you can get an almost accurate reaction.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'll still be here after Raw tonight in my office. So.
Yeah. Well, Jody, this is a lot of fun. As always. This was a lot of fun.
It always is.
Yeah. So, anything you want to share with the folks? I know at one point you said they were trying to get rid of merch, but anything else that's going on out there that's Fiend related that you want to share before we take off?
I don't think so. I don't think there's any new merch. They did, WWE Shop did post the t-shirt with him and Alexa on it again last week. But it's a t-shirt that has already been out. So randomly they'll just post things about the Fiend.
Yeah.
They definitely want us to think that he could come back at any moment. He could show up at my office door right now.
Joe says there's a new Fiend Elite figure coming out in May. So there you go.
Nice. I can give you some personal news. If you follow Nilanium on Twitter, he is currently making me a custom piece of art of Cult Leader Bray.
Go check that out.
So when I get that, when he sends it to me, I will definitely post it. I'm sure he will as well. Super excited about that. Especially now that we've picked out all of our options on our house this morning. So we know the paint colors and carpet and all of that fun stuff. So
the wonderful world of adulting.
Yeah. Not really, but it was exciting and nerve-wracking all at the same time.
Yeah. So, folks, thank you guys for joining us. We really appreciate it. And enjoy Raw tonight. Please. That's why we watch wrestling, because it's good entertainment. So let's see here. James Chadwick saying Thunder Rosa versus Nyla Rose on YouTube in 2 minutes if anyone wants to watch it. I will be amongst the many probably that are going to watch that. So I'll be there. Folks, thank you for joining us. We really appreciate it. Like I said, if you haven't done so, please give us a like on this video. We want to see a like spike on this video. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. We have obviously Abby's Window on Mondays at 6, Tuesdays we have our Impact Wrestling Watch Along, which begins at 7. We skip Wednesdays for now because, that's what we do. But Tazzy has his NXT Watch Along on Wednesday nights, and Thursdays. You know what? Tazzy does a lot on Thursdays, so I'm not even going to try to remember everything. Turn on your post notifications. Turn on your bell for Tazzy. We have our Insiders Wrestling podcast at 9 p.m. on Thursdays, and that's what we do. So if you're new, give us a shout. Give us a shout. Thank you guys so much. Be safe. We love you, and take care. Hopefully we see you again tomorrow night. Enjoy Raw.
La